this will be the only video that you need to watch about overcoming objections. Now, when somebody gives you an objection, I feel like, especially a lot of salesmen, they'll find themselves like scrambling and over explaining things and going too much into detail on that objection. If you go too much in detail on a specific objection, it's going to validate that objection. So you kind of have to, when you get an objection, especially the first time when you get an objection, and this could literally apply to any type of sale, because I've sold, door-to-door before, I've sold software before, I've sold insurance before. The more attention you give an objection, whoopsie, can't be falling. The more time you give an objection, the more valid it's going to be. I really don't understand why so many salesmen will kind of think about the objection and want to overcome it in such a complex way. Like for example, if they get an objection, they're like, yeah, understand where you're coming from, Mr. Prospect, but let me show you a certain way that you could reframe it and look at it by looking at this. And it's like, dude, just go over it. Like, for example, if the most common one is that salesmen have a really hard time with is somebody saying when they need to think about it. So when a prospect says they need to think about it, it's just nonsense. It's just a smokescreen. So you have to treat it as such. So you don't give it any attention. You just go right into it. Like, if they give you an objection like, hey, I need to think about it. Yeah, 100%. Definitely think about everything that I'm going to be doing for you. Actually, another thing to think about is this. And you just go right into another part of your service, and you just re-close. This will make the prospect feel like, hey, dang, that I need to think about didn't work for that salesman. It seems like he's just still going about it like I didn't even say anything. Well, you give it a little bit of attention, but not enough, because if you treat it as a valid objection, they're gonna feel that. So just treat it as a smokescreen, which is what it is. Which majority objections are just them telling you they're not quite there yet. So how do you get them there? You need to give them another reason to purchase your product or service. I actually love getting objections whenever I'm in any sort of sell, because unless they hang up on you, close the door, or tell you to get the F out of there, well, they're still wanting to hear more. That's why they're giving you an objection, is because they're just like, hey, dude, I want to know a little bit more. That's all they're really saying to you. I'm genuinely looking for something. Even if a salesman comes up to me and like, hey, are you looking for anything? I'm still going to say no. Like, just because that's inherently initial response. Like, that's just what I immediately, like, we'll just say when any sales rep or any person comes talks to me, I'm just going to immediately say no. Like, and that's just human nature. That's not because, oh, that's just what, as sales reps, that's just what you need to prepare for. A lot of sales reps will think, oh, I'm going to be the sales rep that just closes somebody after 2 seconds of talking to them. Okay, that's a fantasy. Like, and that's not, even if you are getting those sales, that's not the sales that are going to actually pay the bills. That's the sales that are maybe going to get you one off here and there, but that's never like, I don't rely on those sales that are just what we call goldens. Why would you? Like, why would you rely on that? Why wouldn't you make something happen for you? Which is literally just going over and overcoming all these objections that they're going to throw at you. And don't be surprised when they throw an objection at you. Like, it's the most, I'm just preparing for it. I already know once I'm about to get an objection, I already know when that objection's about to come. Like, it's like, yeah, like it's coming down the road. okay, cool. Like, give me another one, actually. Like, I actually kind of like it. Yeah, give me another one. Objections are nothing but opportunities to sell your product or service. The prospect is literally giving you an opportunity, like, hey, here's an objection. I want you to overcome it, so then I can get the service. Rarely will they ever have 0 objections, and I don't rely on getting sales out of 0 objections. I actually anticipate getting multiple objections, and that's just the way it should be. Because most people's reaction to a salesman is going to be immediate no. Okay, that's fine. Like, just understand that that's the way it's going to be. Like, don't be surprised when you get an objection of your prospects being like, oh, I'm not interested in your service. Oh, I'm not. Like, you should prepare for that to actually happen. Like, and you should have initial response waiting for that, and you should just pretty much know, hey, that's just right around the corner, and as soon as I close, this prospect's gonna give me an objection, but that's just an opportunity for me to overcome their objection and reclose. That's all it really is. When you're getting any sort of objection, no matter what industry you're in, you gotta kind of act like you like it. Like you got to have an initial response of like, cool, yeah, that's great that you actually brought that up. Instead of giving the prospect the initial reaction of like being surprised by it, as if like, oh my gosh, I've never heard of this question before. It's like, your job as a sales rep is to persuade them to purchase your service by giving them multiple reasons to do it and multiple outcomes on what your service or product's going to provide for the prospect. So you should have the confidence knowing like, hey, cool, like, I'm not really worried about what they're going to say, because I know at the end of the day, this is going to help their way of life or their current situation. Like, I'm 0% worried. And when you get an objection, you should actually kind of like the poker face. If you watch Suits at all, it's like you have to kind of act like, you know, when Harvey Specter's in it. Like, that's what I tell all my guys, like, hey, act like a Harvey Specter, because when he's in those situations, he's getting people telling him no. He's not even like flustered at all. He's still very, very calm inside, and he's like, cool, like, what else? Like, he's if anything, he's expected them to say and have some reaction telling him no. He's not just expecting them to say yes right away, but he's not surprised when they say no. A lot of sales reps are completely surprised when their prospects like, yeah, I have a ton of problems, and I know your service would solve all of those, but I just don't want to do it. And most sales reps are like, what the heck, dude? You don't want to do it? Are you freaking crazy? Like, that, you're thinking like your prospect, you're thinking emotionally. With sales, even though we sell on emotion, we can't think emotionally as sales reps. We sell on emotion, but we have to think logically. And we sell the prospect emotionally, but we have to sell them, and they back it up in their mind logically. That's all I got for now. Subscribe if you feel like you already know this, or leave a like if you feel like you've actually learned something from this.